Hi, Jamie Andreas here from GuitarPrinciples.com with part 3 of Why Do I Suck at Guitar. So today we're going to talk about the fact that one of the reasons you suck at guitar is because your left hand was never properly developed. Your left hand is suffering from the 4 diseases of the left hand. 2 of the most important ones are finger squeeze, which means that when you place a left hand finger down, the other fingers come and squeeze against it. So if you try to play here at the 1st fret, your other fingers do not remain nicely in place, ready to do their job. Instead, they all crowd onto the one that's going down. And that affects you with pretty much every finger you play. And the other left-hand disease is finger rise, which means that when you play things like maybe finger combinations that you find in scales, maybe a scale like this, what happens is that your fingers tend to fly all over the place. They go up high from the fingerboard because they have not developed certain qualities that the left hand really needs, which are the ability to stretch out from one another easily, which depends on the development of the muscles that lie here in the hand in between the metacarpals. You do not get that kind of development, so your fingers do not stretch out easily and the tendons are not developed properly. And also the ability to curl equally in toward the strings like this, so that you can have this hand position anywhere that you need it on the neck, even here, which is the hardest place to do it. Okay, your hand can't do those things because it wasn't properly developed, and that's a big part of why you suck at guitar, because playing is extremely difficult when the left hand is not developed into the tool that it needs to be. The reason it's not developed into the tool that it needs to be, as I believe I have explained in my previous 2 videos on this series, is because you did not start where you should have started on the guitar, which is up here on the neck, doing a very set, specific series of exercises that would step by step develop these qualities in the hand. You did not do those. Instead, you started down here, because that's where all the teachers and all the method books will start you for no good reason, because it's the hardest place to play. So a beginner really can't help but be tense down there, and so that's the beginning of the end for proper left-hand development. This is one of the biggest things that I always fix in people's hands. If you are interested in fixing it, the best thing you can do is to get a copy of the Principles of Correct Practice for Guitar, which has a series of left-hand exercises which will get you out of this situation. You can start to get on the right track in general with realizing that your hands are not functioning the way they should, and that in fact are putting a lot of extra tension throughout the body. You can start to do that by just working a bit with this little exercise I'll give you here. And this is actually not an exercise, it's what I call a transformative application, and the Principles of Correct Practice for Guitar are full of these. Transformative applications are things that we do, not for the sake of the thing itself, but because it changes everything about our playing. It transforms the foundation of our playing. So unlike an exercise, which is where we're building a skill that we're going to directly use, these are a little more fundamental. These are things we may or may not actually do in playing, but by doing them, everything gets better. And this is simply this. All you have to do is sit with your guitar like this and very slowly raise your hand up to the guitar without extending the arm. And as you do it, you must focus on the neck and the shoulder, because they always tense up when the arm is raised. And they tense the first time you raised your hand to a guitar. You just didn't know you were supposed to pay attention to it. And so you bring your hand up like this, and then you slowly make sure your fingers are very, very light like this. And then you slowly and gently bring them all to the 6th string, touching with the middle finger first, and then the index finger, making sure it's out to the side, and then the ring finger, and then the pinky. And then you can flap on and off like this. Now, while you're doing this, you may experience a lot of tension just doing that, which is good if you experience that, because that means you're getting more sensitive to what's always going on. Try to get to the point where you can touch your fingers like this very lightly, and then flex your fingers slowly until they go over to the first string. If you find you can't do this, then you really do need help, and you need the more step-by-step directions that are in the principles. But you can try this, and then once you can do this, and you've paid attention and relax the tension that will happen in the neck, the shoulder, and the upper arm down into the hand as you do this. The tension will happen because in order to bend your fingers, you have to contract muscles like this that are in the forearm. Those muscles go all the way up to the elbow. So you will feel tension. Some of that tension is necessary, although it must be relaxed into. Some of it, anything beyond the elbow, is not necessary. It needs to be relaxed. And then you can use other muscles to bring the hand down like this, very slowly. As you bring it down, pay attention to your breathing. A lot of people hold their breath when they do this. And keep relaxing the neck and the shoulder and everything else, and go as far as you can, and just see what that feels like. Now, a great thing to do is to just stop at any particular point and relax. Just relax in that position. Now, if you do this for even a couple of minutes, it'll start to change the way playing feels for you. And you will hopefully become aware of a lot of the tension that you're playing with, and hopefully you will also desire to get rid of that tension so that all your playing will be better.